Hi and welcome to The Lamp in the Library. I'm Graeme.
I'm Kim.
And today we're going to be talking about sharing books.
Yeah, books that have either been shared with us or that we are currently sharing.
So the first book I'm going to talk about is a book that my brother shared with me. He likes to read a lot more essay type nonfiction than I do. So he recommended this book, which has been widely celebrated. It's called Desert Notebooks, A Roadmap for the End of Time by Ehrenreich, who is an essayist, novelist, and journalist. And I think this book just won the American Book Award, very well reviewed. And it's basically a kind of meandering journey through the thoughts of the author, very meticulously researched, but it more or less follows his time living in Joshua Tree and Las Vegas, and his thoughts about politics and global warming. It kind of starts off with him talking about owls and then researching the history and myths surrounding owls, and he goes deep into Mayan cosmology, and then it kind of meanders from there, and it talks about our current political moment, humanity's destructiveness, indigenous resistance to colonialism, and lots of themes and historical tidbits. Very meticulously researched, but like I said, it's really a meandering journey. So if you like this style of nonfiction, I think this is a really great book. It's really unique, and he definitely has something to say. I really devoured this book in a single weekend, so I'm really glad my brother shared it with me, and now I share it with you, the viewer.
Oh, how nice. I wanted to share something I've been doing recently. For sharing a book. I decided to take on the Meditations on the Tarot, a journey into Christian Hermeticism. And what this book does is each chapter is a letter by this anonymous author to his unknown friend, which is the reader. And it goes through each card, each of the major arcana cards of the tarot, and reflects on the symbolism within the cards and what they represent for your spiritual journey, your spiritual life. It is a dense book. There's a lot to take from it, and I decided to take on this book as a literary pilgrimage, meaning that when I was reading it, I would really devote my attention to it, and I would slowly read it. So I would just go chapter by chapter, and sometimes I'd stop in the middle of some of the chapters because he's so in depth and there's just a lot of information he goes through. But when I was mentioned that I was reading this book, one of my best friends said, if you come across any interesting tidbits, share them with me. So when I was reading it at first, I would sometimes just text him some random quotes from the book. But then about halfway through it, I had a bolt of inspiration and thought, why not share a quote from each card and send it randomly to him in the mail. So going forward, once a week I would send him a quote from the chapter I was reading in the mail, and then he would just randomly receive these meditations on the different tarot cards. And I got a text message from him after a couple weeks saying how much he was loving getting the mail. So I thought this was a really fun way to share what you're reading with someone who doesn't live in the same city as you. Especially if you like snail mail and they like snail mail, it really gives a smile to someone's face, and I think it helps you as a reader really reflect on what you're reading. So I think it works really well for that sort of nonfiction reading that makes you pause. So I thought it would be a fun idea to share with others who may like to do something similar with some of their best friends.
So there you go. There's a couple of nonfiction books that we are sharing with you. Do you like sharing books with your friends and family? Let us know in the comments. Have you read these books? Let us know what you thought.
If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe below, and hit the bell so you always know when we have a new episode.
And remember, if you find yourself in the desert, bring sunscreen.
And remember, everyone's on a fool's journey.
Keep well.
Keep reading.